San Francisco is ridiculously expensive, but how high does this number actually get? And what are our saving strategies? I'm Leia and I work in tech and my husband works in finance. This week, I'm going to take you through how we unexpectedly ended up with a spend of over $10,000 while raising our family in San Francisco. And stick around for next week for a deep dive into the 4 saving vehicles you should know about to effectively save for the future. Whether you save $10 or $10,000 per month, it's never too early to start. The first spend of the day is our fixed costs, which means the spend that doesn't change from week to week. That is the mortgage to have a roof over our heads for our 1,600 square foot house, and the childcare costs for our 2 kids to go to preschool from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. since we both work. The total cost is $13,800 per month. My mother-in-law has actually been visiting for the past 2 weeks, which has been so helpful with the kids, taking them to school, taking care of them, and also just having another hand around the house. It really makes me appreciate our village. When I was growing up, my parents are both immigrants, so we didn't actually have family close by who could help my mom out, and I know that was really difficult for her. We're lucky enough to have a good relationship with both sides of the family. That just is so incredible and priceless, and I'm so grateful for it. Monday is one of those days where I really set my priorities for the week. I meet with a lot of the stakeholders to try to understand what we need to focus on for that week. Who's ready for dinner? Let's go! Home from work and enjoying the gorgeous sun in the backyard. The dogs are having their dinner. The dog expenses for the week and the cat expense comes down to $175 per week. That includes health insurance for all 4 animals and all of their food. The 3 big dogs eat a ton of food. A lot of people go back and forth as to whether to get pet insurance for their animals. We ultimately decided to get insurance for all 4 of our animals. As the dogs get older and as the cat gets older, we know there are going to be more expenses because that's just part of the aging process. We knew that it was better to get insurance when they're younger, when we can actually get a good rate, than waiting until they're older and having to pay out of pocket or not even being able to get insurance at all. When I die, I want to come back as a dog in San Francisco. I feel like that would be the best life ever. These dogs get everything. We make our weekly grocery list by taking a look at what we are missing in our fridge and freezer. By making this weekly list, we are able to minimize impulsive purchases to keep our list under control and as healthy as possible. I am expecting this trip is going to be smaller than usual since we still have a lot of pantry staples at home and meats left in our freezer. The dog has been at the emergency vet since 6 a.m. My kids are already on their way to school with grandma, and I'm about to head out right now to a doctor's appointment, and it is 8 a.m. Complete coincidence that I just talked about our pet insurance. A few years ago, it was this guy back here who caused us a very scary situation. We had to do a lot of adapting this morning. As long as you have the mindset that you can adapt, it makes these unexpected twists and turns a little bit more manageable. You have to roll with the punches sometimes. Go into problem-solving mode instead of freaking out. Last year when I thought there was a world where I only had 5 years left to live, when that happened, I realized that not everything is a big deal. As long as there's a solution, we can work with it. And I feel like with the new lease on life that I got, because a lot of people who have brain tumors, don't have a happy ending. And I don't know what my ending is going to be, but I'm pretty sure I have more than 5 years. For me, that's like a new lease on life. In a way, it completely changed my mindset about how I see things and how I go about every single day. Oftentimes, the metro is the fastest way to get downtown, especially during rush hour. I felt like I had lived multiple lives before 9 a.m. this morning, but I grabbed my coffee and got back on the train to get home for work. Even though I go into the office most days, my role is technically a hybrid role that only requires 3 days in the physical office per week. Our HelloFresh order just arrived, and it's definitely been a really good part of our grocery rotation. Some nights we're just so tired, and it just gives us peace of mind that there will be food that we can make, and we don't even have to think about it. When I'm alone and am looking for efficiency, I actually prefer ordering. Not having to make lunch means that I don't have to take the time out of my day and can instead focus on finishing my work. That way, I spend more time with my kids in the evening. It's a trade-off, and time is what I consider my most valuable resource. And I added in an extra treat because some boba tea sounded delicious. I picked up the kids and they showed me the artwork they had made as a class, and they also helped me find a Father's Day gift from Etsy. I sent in a family photo of ours to be made into a framed watercolor. The dog was finally ready to come home from the vet, and we were once again super grateful for pet insurance covering 90% of the bill. Seriously, it's a game changer. The most successful investment I ever made, though, was investing in myself. I took out over $50,000 of loans to go to university. I chose a top university and followed the majors that would bring me the best return on this investment. From there, I was able to get the jobs that just continue to compound over time. To move up one step further, I invested in a coding bootcamp to learn some more programming languages. These investments were a lot of upfront costs for me, but have paid off exponentially for me over time. The only way for us to increase our spend responsibly is if we also increase our salary at a higher rate than our spend. Something that I truly believe is that there is no price to health and wellness. Since I am a marathon runner, I find it really helpful to have a running coach who is also a physical therapist to keep me accountable, but also make sure that I stay safe. 26.2 miles is very hard on the body, and done incorrectly can cause lifelong injuries. My running coach costs $230 per month, so $58 per week. Exercising is a non-negotiable part of my mental and physical well-being, and investing in myself will always have the best ROI on my health and happiness. I wake up between 5 and 6 to give myself some quiet time before the house wakes up. I take the time to read, journal, exercise, and just enjoy the peace so I can start my day off in the right mindset. I used to wake up to the sounds of my kids yelling and realized those wake-ups just set me up for a day of really high cortisol and stress levels. Oh! Uh-oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh! I don't know what just happened. Do I need a $7 latte? The answer is most definitely no. But will a few lattes per week really move the needle in my family's finances? Also, no. So I do what makes me happy, because as I've gotten older and life has thrown more curveballs at us, I find these little joys worth it. I enjoy the simple moments too, but also this latte. As I'm just sitting here about to go to the office, I've just had this moment of realization that in my 30s, I have clarity about my priorities. You know, I used to just prioritize one main thing, and now I feel like really well-rounded. I feel like I have priorities in every part of my life. It's a very peaceful feeling, you know? I feel like very at peace with my decisions and how I live my life, and very confident that I'm living my life exactly the way I should be. And of course, everyone has a different formula for their life, right? So everyone has a different list of priorities and list of what maximizes their life and their happiness, and that's beautiful. I'm gonna call the vet to make an appointment for a follow-up for our dog who went to the emergency room earlier this week, and I'm also gonna make an appointment to get our other dog's tooth removed because he has a rotten tooth in the middle of his mouth, and it's time for that tooth to go. Today started off with an innocent matcha this morning on my way to work, and I get home and the reality is that today is over $3,500 of spend. So let's see where this is all coming from. Let's break it down because that's crazy. So I got home from work and there were 3 expenses waiting for me at home. The first was our box of diapers for $93 for the little one. The next was a year's supply of contact lenses for $1,095. But I got a rebate of $450 for this, so let's say $645 for a year's worth of contacts, which is under $2 a day for the gifts of sight. Not too bad. But the third one, that one was a doozy. The third expense is that I come home and realize that the middle dog has a rotting tooth, and it appears that he's in pain. So the dental bill to extract the teeth and do a dental cleaning is estimated for $2,662. Remember that pet insurance? It's coming in clutch 2 times this week. I did not think that so much of this week would be pet spend, but here we are. The insurance should probably cover most of that, so I'm assuming we'll have about $300 to pay for vet expense. Did everybody wash their hands?
Mama, making matcha.
Make a matcha. While I was at work, our weekly house cleaners came to deep clean our home for $130, and the car got serviced for $200. We try to vacuum every day, but with 4 shedding pets and 2 kids tracking in dirt, our house can always use that extra loving. Are you being a little moody?
Yeah.
My ride to work this Friday was $16, and then I got breakfast and lunch at the office. It's definitely too late in the day for some more caffeine, but humans make bad decisions, and I got a loaf of sourdough, but they added another one for free since they were closing for the day. je vais prendre un Beaufort et aussi un tomate. Oui. Oh, ça c'est bon comme morceau.
C'est plus ça?
Ouais. Et tomate aussi, ça un grand morceau.
Ouais.
Et aussi un gruyère. Okay. Je prendrai aussi un bleu. There was a plant store right next door, so I started off Mother's Day weekend with another plant baby. It's 5 a.m. on Saturday. There's just some things I want to get done, and I feel like I'm more productive really early in the morning before anyone wakes up. The world is so quiet. In the chaos and all of the loudness of life, they're just so serene and so peaceful. Becoming a mother has brought so much extra joy and love to my life, so I love Mother's Day weekend. We started off the weekend with some gifts, and my husband got me the pendant that I've been eyeing for a while. We have joint finances, so I'd imagine my husband subtracted this purchase from our annual luxury spend budget. This slice of our budget has grown over time, but is always subject to change. We had an awesome morning celebrating the start of Mother's Day weekend, and now I am heading over for my Saturday morning bar class before we head out for some more Mother's Day celebrations. We celebrated the first day of Mother's Day this morning on Saturday. It's going to be an entire weekend extravaganza. And we are headed over to high tea at the Fairmont Hotel with the kids and with Grandma. And this morning, the kids did a little Mother's Day parade. And I opened up this pendant that Eric got me. I just love it. I feel like it's extremely dainty. In terms of our budgeting, so we actually do have a budget for luxury spending. And this is a budget that has kind of just become a thing over the past few years as we've had more disposable income available, and it's always subject to change. With these types of purchases that are more luxury and high-end, it's really easy to go overboard, and so we make sure that we have a budget we stick to, and that includes gifts. So I assume that Eric took this pendant from Van Cleef out of that luxury spend budget. In the afternoon, we celebrated with high tea at the Fairmont Hotel. We haven't always celebrated special occasions so lavishly, and in our early dating days, we would just cook Valentine's and birthday dinners at home with maybe some flowers. And to be honest, those holidays were just as special to us. Luckily, we did most of our celebrating yesterday because after a relaxing Mother's Day breakfast at home, the kids came down with fevers, and so we ended up spending the entire day at home, snuggling and watching TV on the couch. So there you have it, how much we spent this week thriving in San Francisco, with most of our spend going to our fixed costs and our unexpected vet bills. This is our spending after allocating most of our income to our various savings vehicles. So stick around for next week to learn more about how we allocate for our nest egg in the future. Whether you put in $100, $1,000, or $10,000 a month, every dollar counts, and I'll show you how to get started. It's never too early to save for the future, and you can really benefit from that compounding interest over time.